Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. This is Lee
And Patty. Hey guys.
from All Things Creepy with Ghostly Travels coming back at you. I'm sure you guys missed this. You're probably like, oh, I like when they're not doing their show. I'm just kidding. Uh, no, but we're looking forward to tonight's guest. We have Nathaniel Elwell, and I've never met him, but I posted that, we're booking and he reached out. So I look forward to chatting with him, making a new friend. And so, guys, if you're watching this, this will actually be on the Paravisions Paranormal Society YouTube channel. It'll be on the Paravisions Paranormal Society. I'm sorry, not the Facebook. It'll be on All Things Creepy with Ghostly Travels Facebook page and my personal page. And so hello, Amy. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Um, so yes, and afterwards I will have this on StreamYard as well. So yeah, so it's nice to come back. We've been doing a lot of stuff, haven't we?
Yes, we've been busy.
We've been busy, yes, with paranormal. Let's just start. This week's a busy week. Patty and I has to help a family in the Cincinnati area for a residential case. And we're looking for Kyle. What's up, buddy? Yeah, so we've got that coming up Friday night, helping the family out in Cincinnati, and we have our friend's home museum at the friend's home. Public hut on Saturday from 7 p.m. to midnight. You can pay at the door, so if you're local and you want to experience a fun time, come to Waynesville, Ohio, Museum at the Friends Home up on the hill. All proceeds go to the museum because it's all volunteer, and we love, sharing their history, the beauty of the building, and we have a lot of little spirits that roam around there that we have communicated with since 2005. God, that makes me sound old.
You are old.
I know. Look at this stuff. Um, but I love the paranormal, and I love helping people. We have been busy with Entity Explorers. Represent. Um, we just went on Memorial Day weekend to one of the baddest places that we can't wait to share the video with you. Um, we went to Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Philadelphia. Well, I don't think it's really Philadelphia. What's that city called? Spring City. We went to Spring City.
Yeah.
And so that was an awesome time. Can't wait for you guys to see what our awesome editors Jake and Carlo put together. And Kyle's in here. Kyle's one hell of a video guy, and I took the camera from him at the beginning because I wanted him to be in the spot. And I think, did you think I did good, Kyle? I'm sure you looked at that video.
Yes, you will also see some of my camera handiwork on display too.
That's right. We
Yep.
stepped out of the box and helped because we were only there for a short time, and he's a fantastic.
Yep. Awesome.
We
The
were
other
only
thing
Go ahead.
I just wanted to touch on, a lot of people go to Pennhurst.
Hold on. Lacey says, "Hey guys,
Hey, Lacey.
hey Lacey, how's it going?"
So a lot of people go to Pennhurst,
Right,
but do they explore the outskirts? You and I had some time to kill, and
right.
so we went to visit Valley Forge, the national or state park or whatever. And
Valley Forge State Park.
yep, yeah, beautiful place.
Yeah,
Uh,
if you're around that area, definitely check it out.
Yeah, lots of history, and we just did kind of a driving tour, which was perfect.
Right. Uh,
Move.
like Kyle says here, shit got real that night. We can't wait for you guys.
Kyle says what?
Shit got real.
Oh, yes.
It
Yes.
did. This investigation was off the charts. And this is no joke. Just a week prior to us being there, they had the Pennhurst event, right? Bob and Gina puts together with Pennhurst. And that is a phenomenal event. If you've not been, I've not been, but I know a lot of people that go and a lot of people that are there. But we were there the week after. So whatever they did that week, thank you if you're listening. If you were at Pennhurst at the event, Paracon, thank you so much for going in and investigating and stirring up all of the good stuff and get her off that arm, please.
I'm
Um,
working on it.
that was phenomenal. And we really, like I say, really appreciate you stirring up the energy. Like, because it goes right back to what Kyle said here. Shit got real. And it did. Shit got real. And real. Does that sound right? Yeah. Real.
Sounds ghetto.
Sounds ghetto, doesn't it? But the shit got real. uh, we film again on the 20th of June for June. Can't wait to share that one with you guys. Um, Kyle goes, real. See laughing faces. So yeah, so they just released an episode. If you guys are watching, go to Entity Explorers YouTube channel. We love for you to subscribe and like, and we will share love back. Uh, Entity Explorers. Let me share a little bit about it. It's about paraunity, and a lot of people think that name paraunity, that word, I mean, is just a bunch of crock. Well, we don't think so. We work with some of the most amazing people that we've ever met for the first time, some people that we've known prior, but we actually have a good time. It's us, and we invite guests on. Sometimes it's just one guest, sometimes it's a couple guests, and it's fantastic. We work well together because we've never worked together prior, so it is a fun time. We get serious. We have shits and giggles, but then also we have shits because when the bag comes out and the coins are being tossed around, you don't want the black coin, right, Kyle? Kyle and me. Everybody else gets lucky. Carlo's been in one black coin solo.
Listen, if we would institute the rule that I would like to put in, that would change the chances.
Yeah, we don't want to share that on here, but we've
Just
had
saying.
it. But it's been a blast, and we look forward to it. Um, bring the black coins. Yes, bring the black coins for sure. But we do have some awesome places coming up. Plus, Patty and I have some awesome vacations coming up. We're going to Austria to see our son in September. Then we're going to Aruba in November. Uh, so yeah, so those are two major vacations that we have coming up this year. It looks like our guest is on backstage. Before I bring him on, I want to talk about him a little bit. I'm sure he can hear me, but I'm going to share a little bit of bio that he sent me. So, guys, let me go through this. Nathaniel Elwell is a paranormal researcher and investigator with around 19 years of experience in the paranormal field. He is the founder of Southeastern Ghost Research Association in Alabama and the Newport Paranormal Society in New Hampshire. Nathan utilizes his investigative skills to dissect and break down paranormal content on his TikTok channel to offer alternative explanations to the videos. In his spare time, he also tests paranormal applications on his YouTube channel. He recently published a book on the topic called Downloading for the Dead, Investigating Paranormal Applications. Recently, he was featured on the cover of Paranormal Underground magazine alongside his partner Morgan. He is also the host of the Paranormal Unveiled podcast on Wednesday nights on the All Access Network. So, guys, let's welcome Nathaniel. We'll just call him.
Hello.
Good evening, my friend. How's it going?
Not bad, Lee, Patty. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I've been looking forward to this all week, so I'm sure this is going to be an amazing conversation.
Yeah, we look forward to it as well. Someone's echoing. Hold on.
Yeah, I've lost my sound down here.
I hear you.
Okay, I don't hear you.
Okay. You don't hear me?
Gremlins. I
Not
can.
through the phone, I don't.
You can hear Nathan? Okay.
I can.
Okay. I just got an echo somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from. That's one,
Do you
two.
want me to exit out and come back in, see if it's me?
Yeah, try that. We'll just try that, see what we get.
10-4.
I was going to say, I'll hop off and I'll just come to my computer.
Okay. No, you're good. It's good on this end. Do you hear me?
No.
It's got to do something with audio.
I only hear, I only hear you upstairs.
Okay. Just come on up then.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be right there.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay.
just fine.
Good. Oh, I think it's Patty. She's just going to come up here. She's downstairs.
Okay, whatever works.
No, you're
I
good.
like to call them podcast gremlins.
That's right. I like, well, especially when we talk about paranormal, right? Little things that can come in.
And never fails. It never fails. Anytime you try to start a conversation about paranormal, especially if it has something to do with like extraterrestrial beings or something, there's always some kind of gremlins that pop in. Something goes wrong. It's Newton's law. If something's going to go wrong, it will.
Right. Something's going to happen. And hi, Morgan. How are
Morgan?
you? She's probably right there with you, huh?
Yes. No, actually, she lives in Massachusetts. She drives up
Oh.
here almost 3 hours every other weekend to come see me.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I just read your bio to everyone, and you've been doing this for a little bit of time now as well. And
Quite a
I
while.
saw some pictures. You were with one crazy dude that I truly love, Michael. He's a phenomenal guy, and you was
That
just with
dude
him.
is a trip.
He is, isn't he? I mean, you don't know whether to take him serious, and then it's like, okay, that's not serious. He just goes with the flow. Whatever comes out of his mouth. Go ahead.
He's got that personality that it's like he'll say something and you look at him like, is he joking?
Right.
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna assume he's joking.
Right, because he makes something ugly beautiful, and then he goes, "I'm just kidding."
Yes.
Right. Yeah, Michael is awesome, Morgan. He is a phenomenal dude. I had him on the show, and he had me in tears about his personal life growing up, and that dude is just a genuine guy.
Yes.
I don't think he has a negative bone in his body.
If he does, I doubt he even knows he has it.
If he does, I told him, here's what I told him, Nathan. If he does, he goes out late at night somewhere and takes a pillow and screams through it.
I could see that.
Yeah, because the guy is 100% awesome. And yeah, I just love his personality. Those are the kind of people that I love, to meet and all that stuff, is people just like that. And but welcome to the show.
When I was at no, thank you guys for having me. Like I said earlier, I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. As you know, I was in Broadhead Manor this weekend doing the beard brawl for Broadhead.
Yep.
And that's when me and Mike hooked up. And Mike would have appreciated that because that sounded dirty. But
Hooked up. Yeah,
that's where that
he would have enjoyed that words.
oh he would have accentuated on it. That's the bad part.
Right. He would have finished your
But
sentence with a little bit more sweetness in it.
yes. So I actually was supposed to meet Mike the year before that at Broadhead for the Paranormal Rock Down. And anytime I got close to him, he was busy talking to somebody. And I'm one of those, if you're talking to somebody, I'm not going to interrupt the conversation. I'll just come back to you. And it just
Right.
never happened.
Right. And he's just a guy. Yeah. Do you see, if he's quiet, then I'm going to come up to him and check his forehead, see if he's okay.
Right? Because the dude can talk. I love him to death, but the dude can talk.
Yeah, the dude can talk. Yeah. What's this? Morgan says you all must have snuck away because I missed that happening.
What? We did not sneak away. Get that out of your mind, Morgan.
She's well, maybe she wants that. Okay. Here's Patty. Let
Oh,
me bring her back. There you go.
hello. Can you hear us
We
now?
brought her upstairs.
Right, but I still can't talk.
If you can try your mic, see what happens,
It's gonna be.
and turn your volume down a lot. Sorry for the. She wasn't ready.
See?
Yeah.
Told you.
Hermits. All right. So disregard that. She's just going to chime in. But
No,
yes,
no worries.
I'm glad to have you. I scoped your page, yours and Morgan's. I like what you guys are about. You was just like you just said. You was at the Broadwell this past weekend. There's been a few events. FCI Con 6 was this past weekend. I didn't do any because I got the next 2 weeks. I'm swamped weekends. So I was like, when you can take a break, you're going to take a break because my job kills me anyway. So
Yeah. I feel that I build bridges for a living, so
okay,
I fully understand. And you know, when it comes to events, you got to pick and choose which ones you take. Because
right,
if you take a massive amount, and I think this is a mistake that a lot of the people that if they're new to getting invited to events, it's the same mistake that I made. You
right.
take too many events, and then you overwhelm yourself very quickly. You get burnt out.
You do. Yep. I seen that in the past, and so yeah. So I'm like, no. You just gotta, like you say, there. I hate it when you see a couple at the same weekend because you're like, oh, some of my friends are going to this one, but you can't be at both, so you might as well just flip a coin, right?
Exactly. And I made it the point this year, pretty much if I could do an event, it was going to be one a month.
Right, right.
Space it out. Because to be honest, especially with here in the Northeast, if you attend a lot of the Paracons here in the Northeast, you're going to be seeing the same exact people every trip.
Right. So you gotta go. You gotta spread a little bit across out Midwest, right?
Well, yeah, that exactly. And Broadhead is the furthest I've been to the Midwest as far as doing a paranormal event.
Right.
We are kind of broadening our horizons. We went up to Maine last year. We're doing an event in New York in September, which I
Okay.
can't announce yet. So I've been sworn to secrecy until it's announced.
But it
So,
sounds
but
like it's gonna be an exciting time.
oh, that yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's about a 6 hour, maybe 8 hour drive for us,
Right.
but the event's very much going to be worth it.
Oh, that's awesome. That like over Memorial Day weekend, we went. We do. I have Paravisions Paranormal Society, my team that I've had for 30 years, and and then
Why'd you whisper it like this? I mean, I wouldn't have pegged you for a day over 40. So
you're my best friend now. But we went to. I've never been, but we just filmed with our YouTube group, Entity Explorers. We just went over to Pennhurst State School and Hospital. Never been there before. This was my first time in all the years I've been doing this, and let me tell you, they had that Paracon the week prior for us being there, but my goodness, the energy was just off the chain through those buildings.
I have
And
I
have you
have
been there?
heard a lot about that place.
Oh, you got to go check it out. You got to check it out. It is phenomenal. The people that run it are amazing. Um, yeah, we had a great time doing our filming there, so it's phenomenal. And
Awesome.
oh, I got to catch up on some chats. Patty goes, "Hey, everybody, I can't talk because Lee and I are." Yes, that happens. Um, and so that's how this seems to be. Yes, that's how events are. And then Morgan says, "I love Penhurst. I've only been once, but want to go back." Yes, and you know what? That there's a couple places that I've investigated in my career in the paranormal that I truly love to go back to, and I'll share mine. And I would love to hear yours, Nathan. Is
Oh
I
yeah.
love Waverly Hills. I love Mansfield Reformatory, and I love now the third one is Penhurst.
Yeah, I've
So
not unfortunately had the pleasure of going to Penhurst yet. I'm hoping if they do the Paracon next year that I'll be able to make it down.
they're doing
Um,
it. They've already broke it loose that they're doing it. So
awesome,
they pushed
awesome. Yeah,
that
because
data
my
center
plan,
our way again. So we're good. So
yeah, because I wanted to go to Penhurst this year. It just didn't pan out. Just like I've been in New Hampshire now for a little bit over 11 years, and I keep wanting to go to the Gettysburg Bash, and I just never seem to be able to do it.
right, right. And that's another great event that, you know, when we used to go to that event, it wasn't called Gettysburg Bash, it was called Phenomenology. And
Oh, okay.
this is way back in time. And it was phenomenal. You know, the it was at the wasn't that at the Eisenhower
Yes.
Hotel, and I think that's where they still put it on. But it was great, you know, and you get to see if you start going to these events every year, you start to see friends that you talk to on Facebook. And I love meeting people. Patty will say that. She goes, "Yeah,
Same.
I'm glad you talk because I don't really like to do it that much." And we make friends, and paranormal has been, you know, phenomenal. Meeting some awesome people, and then when you really get to work with them, it's even better. Because I tell people all the time, and you know this, we learn from people that's never done this to people that we've never worked with, and it's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Right, right. And so, going back to your original question, and then I'll loop
Yeah,
around and I'll make a side note on that as well.
sure.
So if I had to choose a place that I would go back to, I have two of them. I absolutely loved the Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama.
Now that
Um,
is a place I've never
that,
been, and you got to share some stories on that one.
so here's the thing: we didn't experience all that much activity, but the stuff that we did experience, I could not explain. Um, there was at one point someone was like, "Oh, did you hear someone throw that rock?" And I'm like, "Look, we're in an old foundry, right? The stairs are rusting out. There's a good chance no one threw anything. It was just something falling from the staircase or falling from
Right,
the equipment that's up above us. I think you can discredit that. But what you
right.
can't discredit is when four people in your team see a shadow walking up the catwalks, which are closed off.
Ooh, no, there's no. Yeah, that right there is like, oh, that's why it gives you those goosebumps, you know, and you're like, yes.
Right. Yeah, so I would love to go back to the Sloss Furnaces just based off of that one particular occurrence.
Right.
My second place, though, and probably my favorite investigation I've ever done, is a place that no one knows about. It's called the Old Coffee County Jail in Elba, Alabama. And this is probably one of my favorite stories. I love to tell this story on every podcast I'm on. So we got invited in to investigate the Old Coffee County Jail by the local JCs. They're similar to the YMCA. They do,
Okay.
charitable stuff with children and all that.
Right.
And
Right.
so every year they ran a haunted house. Well, the owner of these, or I guess you could say the president of the JCs, he made sure he was at the end of the haunted house to shake everybody's hand that came out to tell them, "Thank you for coming. We appreciate your, supporting us, blah, blah, blah." And he said he kept getting reports of, "I love the actor that you have back here. They were so creepy." Well, there was no actor stationed in that area.
Oh,
And he would tell all of them that there was nobody back there. That's not part of the planned event. And after about 40 or 50 reports of this, they found our Facebook page, the Southeastern Ghost Research Association. They called us up and asked us if we would come and take a look at it. And I said yes, not thinking anything of it. Lord, did I not realize the logistical nightmare that was going to be. Um, we had to go through the city chamber of commerce. Then we had to go through the city manager. I had to personally talk to the mayor. There was like 30 waivers we had to sign, which all that's good and well. If you're doing this and you're going into a public place. You should expect that.
Absolutely.
But I was one at that time that I had done nothing up until that point other than residential cases.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't ready for the paper trail and the logistical nightmare to get in there and how long it took.
Right.
But it all worked out in our favor because there was something I found out after the investigation that I did not know about going in. So we go into this place and it was pretty quiet, right? They have a bullpen set up upstairs. So you have, cells upstairs that have 4 or 5 bunks. Downstairs, you had 3 cells that were your overnight cells. I assume that's what they were. I can never get actual documentation or anyone to tell me that's what they were, but that's what I assume they were. There's 2 bunks to each room. Then you had 1 singular solitary cell for, of course, that one person that wanted to act up. The solitary cell door had not been opened in so long, the hinges were rusted shut. It took about 3.5 to 4 cans of WD-40 and 5 people to open the door.
Jeez.
So we finally get the door open, and I'm like, okay, we got it open. I'm going in there. I'm gonna do some EVP work. I set up a camera facing the interior part of the jail cell, and I set up a camera on the back side of the jail cell facing down the hallway. I go in there, I'm doing EVP work. About 20 minutes in, I hear this weird, I'm looking around like, what the hell was that? The cell door that just took all those cans of WD-40 and 5 people to open slammed shut on its own volition at the same exact time that both of the cameras I had focused on the area died.
Wow.
I was stuck in the cell for almost an hour.
Jeez, I bet. I would have been like flipping out because claustrophobic kicks in. I'm like that if I get in an elevator and 3 people gets in. I just don't like that. And as I'm getting
Claustrophobia, I get what you're saying because there
yeah,
are areas that make me claustrophobic, but that wasn't my instinct that kicked in. My first instinct was, how in the am I going to get out of here?
right. Your adrenaline, push that door open, closed.
Oh,
Thing open.
but if I ever had one of those, if I was going to crap my pants moments in the paranormal, that was
Right.
it.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been one of mine right there. I've been like, no kidding, guys. I need a new set of drawers.
Yes. And let me tell you, I have been to some of the most famous places. I've been to the Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine. I investigated there. I loved it. I did the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. I got to do the St. Augustine Lighthouse and the Lightkeeper's House. I've done the Lizzie Borden House. I've done Medfield State Hospital in Medfield, Massachusetts. I did the grounds, not the buildings, because you can't go in.
Can't go in, yeah.
But let me tell you, that place, for not being known, was the most active place I've ever been.
Oh wow.
Now, did you happen to be running audio at that time, and did you capture anything?
So the odd thing is, the only thing I captured on the audio was the creaking of the door.
Really?
But a fun fact that I did not know until after the investigation was over, because at this point in time, like I said, I was new to doing public places.
Right.
So I went in without doing research. I don't do that now.
Yeah.
So the girlfriend goes in not knowing anything. She's a medium. She goes in cold. She doesn't want to know anything.
Right.
But
Same here.
I did not know. Go ahead.
I said the same here for me. I'm the same. I don't like to know. I'm empath. I just want to know as I feel it as we go, and share what I pick up.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's a fair way to do it. And that's why I feel like mine and her styles, they mesh. Because I'll handle the research logistics. You
Right.
handle whatever your spiritual thing is, because I don't fully understand it and it freaks me out. But when I found out 2 days after the investigation, when I was doing the research, that we investigated the location to the day of the 20th anniversary of Sheriff Neil Grantham getting shot to death on the steps of the jail from an inmate he had released the day before.
Oh, good Lord.
So my thought here is, when it comes to the solitary cell, if, say, Sheriff Grantham is still roaming the building, right? I'm in that cell. I'm an inmate in his facility.
Right.
Why is that door open?
Yeah, he's closing that door. Yeah.
So that would be my thought on it.
Right. I like your point. That is exactly what I would have thought. It's like, why there's an inmate in here with the door open. What are you guys thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's
Especially
slacking?
that cell.
Yeah, and there was a lot of tragedy at that building too. That a lot of people, I don't think unless you've lived in the area for a very long time or you work for the Historical Society, you probably didn't know about it. 1992, there was a flood that killed 20 inmates because
Wow.
they couldn't get up. They couldn't get up to the roof quick enough. 1988, there was a guy that fell asleep with a lit cigarette. His bed caught on fire and he burnt to death.
Oh my good Lord, in his cell. Jeez.
Yeah,
That's
and
one way.
so
That's one way I'm nervous about is I don't want to die in a flame, in a fire.
no,
No. I hope I just go
no.
to
So
sleep.
now, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so he fell asleep with a lit cigarette. And back then, they made those mattresses out of that foam that was really flammable, and it just went up. It stuck to him, and they couldn't get him out in time.
Gosh. Hi, Bianca. And Patty asked for you. Do they let other teams in regularly now?
No, to my knowledge, I am still the only team to have ever investigated the location.
See,
so cool.
that's the kind of jewels that I like to find too, is like it's not been, I don't want to say, contaminated with other teams because we should all get along and help each other. But so much traffic to where
So,
like that, you walked in and there's all these stories waiting for you.
right, and here's the thing: when you have these places, I'll just throw this one out as an example: the Sally House, right?
Yep,
You have all of these places that are very much trafficked.
right,
Everybody that goes in there to investigate this place, if you go off the stone tape theory, leaves their energy in that location, a little bit of themselves.
right.
So in a way, if you think about it logically, if you go off the stone tape theory and it does collect energy, every team that goes in there, to your point of saying the word, technically is contaminating the environment
Absolutely. And
because you don't know what kind of energy they're bringing in.
and actually, yeah, and then on top of that, adding to what you're saying, I've always had this theory out there about like these places where people are in 24/7, right?
Yep.
From January to December, that even, 9 times out of 10, you're asking the same questions over and over and over. It's like being in your house and somebody coming in and poking and prodding at you, and finally that beast is going to release because, a lot of us do this. If you can give us that sound again, or if we can see you walk down that hallway again, we will stop. How many times did we say that in an investigation?
Yeah, and if you think about it from the theory of ghost or residual energies from people,
Right,
they would probably get just as sick of doing that for us as we would do if we had an annoying neighbor that would come over and knock on the door 30 times a day just to ask a stupid question.
right. 100, like Patty said, 100% agree. Because it gets old, and then
Yeah,
But for instance,
it
you being in
does.
a jail cell, that didn't happen because that's not a place where traffic comes in. That was just like you said, and I'm with you. I think that was the sheriff just saw the door open and he goes, "Poof," you know.
And that's
And
and that's
I
the
would have been
only
like,
way
oh
that I could
shit,
possibly, yeah, and it's the only way I could in my mind rationalize what occurred.
right,
Um, I wish I had another explanation, but I damn sure know it wasn't the wind.
right, right. Not that big door, right? Not with them old rusty
Yeah,
hinges.
no, and knowing that now is why I research before I go in. And I'll give you an example of how I research. So
Okay,
I call myself a paranormal researcher, not just because I look into ghosts. I research everything. I go into cryptids. I go into UAPs, UFOs. I even have a few books in my library on spontaneous human combustion. If it cannot be explained, I want to understand it
right. That's the
the
one.
best that I can.
Right,
So, Medfield State Hospital, I brought it up a little bit earlier.
right.
This is my research folder for Medfield State Hospital.
Good Lord, dude.
I have every single property record from 1912 up until 1942 in this book.
Wow.
This is how I research.
And that's the best way to do it right there.
And I have a completely separate folder that has the names of every single person buried in the on site cemetery.
Oh wow. Now is the
This,
cemetery, I've been hearing a lot about cemeteries and I've been fascinated lately. Like, a lot of the infirmaries and things like that, they bury them, they just put a brick with a number on them because that's really that's how you knew there was a person there. And a
yep,
lot of places here in Ohio, they buried them standing straight up. So they needed the
save
space.
space.
Yeah.
Yep, and Medfield State Hospital did the same thing, believe it or not.
Really?
So it wasn't until, when was it? 2001. Someone was in the Boy Scouts, and they made it their Eagle Scout duty to find the names of everybody buried.
Wow.
Because before, all they had was markers with numbers. That's all you knew. So this person took almost 3 years of digging through records and finding all this other information to finally put names to the numbers.
Thank God for that person, right? Because I
No,
mean,
absolutely.
those people were someone. They were someone's child. They were someone's aunt. You know, it goes on and on. They got to be remembered, and what you're doing right there, I think is phenomenal because you're keeping their story going.
And you know what? They deserve that story to be told.
Absolutely.
Because just like Penhurst, Medfield was not the most pleasant place to be. Um, I could tell you from my knowledge, I know of what they call inmates. I don't like calling them that. I'm going to call them patients. Um,
Right.
there was a patient that was beaten to death with a fire poker by one of the nurses.
Good Lord.
Um, the hydrotherapy room, though, was probably the most gruesome death. There was a man that was left in a hot hydrotherapy tub because there was an altercation down the hallway. So the nurse left him in there to go and check on what was going on down the hall.
Oh wow.
Now, in this hydrotherapy tub, he was in there at 125-degree water. She forgot he was in there. He was in there for 9 hours. He could not physically lift himself up. He boiled to death.
Yeah, that's like making a hard-boiled egg, dude.
Yeah. So I actually had the pleasure of meeting someone who was on site for that. He used to be a security guard. And he said it was a day that he would never forget. When they went to pick him up, everything fell apart. It was like he'd been slow cooked.
Wow. Yeah, because you know we were looking in the history of Penhurst, and "Suffer the Children" is a video out for Penhurst. That
That's a big old kitty.
yeah, that's that girl she's 14 this year and hates my guts. She doesn't like me. That's Patty's cat, and but you know, if you guys are watching this, check out "Suffer the Children" on YouTube, and it's a news reporter in the '60s that
Oh, that
actually,
video is so horrific.
oh, terrible. And you know that happens. That wasn't just in that place. That happened everywhere, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff still happens because we're all human. You know, I know it's our job. We got to get paid, but I think everybody, you know, they get well, behind closed doors. Who knows what happens, right?
Right.
I mean, people always are in, you know, nursing care facilities and they're saying, hey, there's bruises on my mom or my dad, my grandma, or there's black. Why has he got this black eye? We're never going to hear the true story.
Correct.
They're always going to say, well, he fell.
Right. And you also got to figure that back in those times, they were staffing the hospital perfectly for what the staff was supposed to have. And
Right,
most of these asylums and hospitals back in that day and age, they were almost doubling the capacity they were supposed to have.
right,
And so the employees, they were overwhelmed, they were underpaid, they were understaffed. And so, yeah, you're not going to be able to give the proper patient care if you're supposed to be watching, say, 4 people, but now you have 8. You really can't get that good what I would like to call balance of being able to properly care for the people that are
right.
under your care because you're just so overwhelmed.
Now, what Jackie at Penhurst, when we were interviewing her, she said, um, she works there. She said that one nurse, one nurse or whatever you want to, not even a nurse, but just like a regular care person, would be to 80 to 100 patients. That there's so when you think about that, how you know to change them, to feed them, how long they sat there in their own speed, you know, that's just
Physically, that's impossible.
right, right.
Like I was going to compare it to something, but realistically, there's no comparison
There
to
is no
that.
comparison. I mean, and I would have loved to talk to some of those people that, that was their job. They went in and did the best they can, but You know, when you got 80 to 100 people on with you, I mean, that's like
Yeah,
they pack those rooms full of people. Um,
yeah. And
it,
that, to me, being a nurse in that hospital, considering the circumstances, that would be tantamount to a paraplegic trying to climb Mount Everest.
right.
It's not going to happen.
Absolutely. It's not going to happen. There's no way. No. And yeah, just, it's so sad. There's Jake.
And
Hey,
it's
Jake.
even more, hello, Jake. And it's even more heartbreaking when you watch the documentary that you were talking about.
Right.
You
It's
see
sad.
people literally, they're chained up in cribs.
Right.
And some people didn't move for so long that they were literally almost fused in the fetal position.
Right. It's terrible. Patty just did some more math there. They would have had to provide care for 8 to 10 people an hour in an 8-hour shift.
Like without stopping.
Without stopping. There's no breaks for them. Nothing.
So when Patty was actually talking there, I could actually hear her. So
Oh, he can hear you.
Oh, okay, I'll be loud then.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
loud.
just be a
Just
little bit louder. I can hear you just fine.
good. So yeah, you know, and I just don't. I just couldn't imagine. You know, and a lot of those people love, especially the kids. Like if you watch that video, you know, where they're tied their feet and their hands.
Yeah,
The people, you know, that's they're what got me out of the whole thing is, oh look, it looks like their IQ's getting a lot stronger. Let's drug them up. Like, you know,
yeah,
Dr. Fear, the main doctor for Pennhurst. I mean, what a clown. Oh,
yeah.
you
So some of the experiments that he attempted,
right,
that I don't know. It's weird because when you talk about the stuff that went on at that specific hospital,
right.
I know at every hospital around the United States, bad things happened.
Yeah,
There were hard conditions. They were understaffed, and patients were not properly cared for. But when you talk about Dr. Fear and the things that he did to certain patients, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I could be mistaken on this, but he was lobotomizing people before lobotomy was technically an actual quote
no,
unquote accredited
no, you're right.
form of treatment.
What we've heard, Jake, Patty, you're in here. We've heard that. I mean, that is true.
I thought that was the guy at Mansfield.
No, that's the guy, Dr. Fear at Pennhurst. He would use one of the drugs they would use is Thorazine.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what was so sad? And it happens because I did research back when before, you know, now we just take a shot, right? We can take care of TB. We can do all that. But if you
Right.
had a seizure, they thought that that was contagious. So you would have to go to one of these facilities.
Yes.
They would depart you from your family and you never see them again because you have a seizure. And that was their thinking. We have to
Yeah.
figure this out.
Yeah, and not to mention that back in that day and age, in the earlier days of those asylums, you could have your wife admitted for pretty much anything.
Right.
Women back then, you could walk over and just say, "Oh well, she's angry for whatever reason," and
Yep.
boom, she's admitted.
She's admitted, and they're going to just start drugging her up. They're going to start using her as a guinea pig for things.
And it's insane.
Right.
I know of some cases where if you go through and read ledgers, it will tell you that people were admitted for chronic masturbation.
Isn't that nuts?
That's not what my
That's weird. I don't want to know the definition, nor do I want to know what goes into how they determine said person was a chronic masturbator.
Right. So
But
as you
it
were
is an
saying that,
intriguing thing to see in a logbook.
right, and as you said that, Patty commented something, and she said this had nothing to do with what you said. I'd have been locked up. And I'm like, where's Michael right now? He would have been all over you, Patty, on this one.
It had to do with people having their wives locked up.
So great comment, bad timing.
Look at Jake. Jake's face. He put an emoji. Yeah, guys, you gotta watch this one after it's over. I'll have to tag Michael.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was perfect. And then she goes, wait, not on what he's saying, not that. No, but it was a very bad time, and especially, and that's she said, "Shut up, Jake." And back then, and that's why it gives those asylums bad names. Is that kind of stuff. Now, do we know that that happens today in those
Yes.
locations? Yes. You feel like, once you put a loved one in there, you'll never see them again. You lose power of attorney as a family member. If they're collecting any Social
Yep.
Security, or if they have a fat bank account, they go back 5 years prior, and they own you. It's theirs.
Yes.
Oh, Kyle's got something to say. They did tell us no lobotomies were performed at Pennhurst. Okay, so he did not.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the correction.
Yep. Morgan said, I missed something. I hopped out when you started talking about med.
Sorry, Morgan.
Oh, you missed a funny thing, Morgan. He was just talking
look,
about
Morgan,
women masturbation. Jake had laughing.
Morgan, I will fill you in on that before I jump onto the Red Road Paranormal podcast later on tonight. So yes, this is my first of 2 podcasts tonight. So
Good Lord. Okay, according to the tour, because Kyle did the tour the night prior, and so they did not do the lobotomy. Now that guy was boiling up to it. Now, if he would have had more time, I would see Dr. Fear doing anything. I mean, because the way
absolutely.
the way he threatened that one patient, like as he was being interviewed in that video, you see, no, I did not strap. He tried to back out of what he said.
Yeah, when you watch the actual documentary and the video, and when they interview, like his eyes are dead.
Right.
There's no emotion. There's no care. There's no empathy. It's just he's looking at these people as what I would call livestock in a way.
Right. Pretty much. Like that's his barn. He's coming in. He's going to do what he can, and he gets a kick out of it. Kyle, because I'm an expert on the Pennhurst tour 2 times in one day. That's right. He did do, because we had to get some shots. You could say paranormal. Yeah, go ahead.
Forgot. There was something I was going to circle back and touch on earlier, and I forgot what it was.
Right. We were talking about sloths, and then we were talking about the jail when you mentioned those, and you said you was going to say something.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I have severe can't remember shit disease. Like I have severe CRS.
Oh, dude, I've got it's squirrel, and where were we?
Yes, exactly. I'm sure as soon as it hits me, I'll just randomly be like, oh, by the way, just to tap back in what we were talking about earlier, that's how my mind works.
I usually remember when I'm sitting on the throne in the bathroom when I'm by myself. Oh, that's what. So if I message you, that you're like, he's probably on the shitter. Kyle's
it happens to me so much. Because, especially with doing my podcast, I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, hey, I want to ask you a question, but I'll circle back to it. And I never get back to that question. I forget about it.
And then you want to, because after it's over, you're like, man, I should have asked that. Or I wanted to come back on that because you said something that got my interest. I want to ask you something else. Yeah, it happens. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, and now I'm kicking myself in the ass because I should have led off with what I said I was going to circle back to, knowing me personally, I should have known I was going to forget to circle back to it.
Do you remember what he said? I remember him saying he's going to circle back to that.
No, I've become distracted by something.
I wish I could just take the mouse and just go.
It happens. It's all good.
No, it's good. It's good. So what do you got coming up in the next couple weeks or anything? You got anything boiling?
Oh man, I am busy. Let's just put it that way. So I got my podcast tomorrow. I've got on a guy named Bobby Resnick. He is a Native American. He's a paranormal investigator. And then the following week, I'm really looking forward to having Jeff Belanger on the show.
Okay, cool.
He is amazing. He's awesome. He's been so accommodating for me. Like he's great. I've got multiple events coming up within the next few months. I know we have the Nashua, the Spirit Speakers Expo in Nashua, New Hampshire. Like I said earlier, we have one in New York coming up that I can't announce
Right.
yet. There's a very good chance I will be back in Salem in October. I'm not sure if they're doing it in October or November this year. I've not gotten a solidified date. But yeah, it's been a wild year, and it does not seem to be showing any signs of slowing down.
Oh, Patty goes. She goes. I walked away to grab my book, my lobotomy, because I wanted the doctor's name. It was Dr. Freeman, who was eventually at Mansfield doing lobotomies.
So it was Mansfield, okay.
It was Mansfield, right? And oh God.
And this kid was lobotomized because his stepmother was just annoyed by him. Like,
Yeah,
she just didn't like him.
she didn't like him, so that's why he got his treatment.
Yeah. But I mean, he survived to be a functioning adult. He was lucky.
He was a lucky kid.
Yeah. Lobotomies were no joke. If people don't realize the process that went into lobotomies, they were not a fun experience for anyone except for the person who enjoyed doing them.
Right. The guy that was back behind the tool, man.
Yeah, does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so with you, man. I'm just like, I know, no, just stay away, man.
Yeah, not for me.
Right. So I want to ask you, when you're out investigating, you and Morgan,
Yes.
you said she does the medium stuff. What is one of your go-to? What do you like to do to use as equipment? What is one of your best tools that you like? I heard you say you like to do EVPs.
Yes. So that's actually a great question, because me and Morgan, we've technically officially only done 4 investigations together. So I think she might be 3, but no, it's 4 because Henniker College in New Hampshire. So we are still kind of a work in progress, trying to figure out exactly how we mesh and the best way to investigate together, given her abilities and my technical knowledge of the equipment.
Right.
And my technical knowledge of the equipment is people misuse it. They misunderstand it. They don't use it properly. They see all the blinky lights and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty."
Yeah, because when a lot of those equipments on top of that, those prices are high, but they don't understand.
Hang on. I don't want to have to circle back because I'll forget.
Okay, go for it.
We know.
What happened?
Oh, great. Now he locked up.
Yeah, he locked up on his end.
Yeah, so I don't want to have to circle back to the whole me and Morgan thing again just because I forget. But so the way that we do things is we go in. Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfect.
So the way that we work is we go in. She picks up on the energy within the location. She'll tell me, "Hey, I don't know what piece of equipment needs to be put here, but you need to set a piece of equipment over here." And so that's what I do. I figure out what piece of equipment I want to set up. I set it up. And then we just kind of continue to do our thing. So basically, she is what I would like to call my conduit to tell me where the energy is going to be. And so I can take her readings and place equipment in I would say, the most opportune spot to capture activity. And this showed very well at Henniker College here in New Hampshire when we did a public event there last year. There was a spot where she told me to put equipment. I put it down. I think we were using the Fantune box by Dave Giuliano. And we had it set up in a hallway that was facing nothing. Like literally, it was like a little, I would call it a storage closet. But I set it up in there, and this thing is motion detected. So it will only go off if motion is happening. Then I took my Fantune box and my motion sensor music box, and I set them both up facing in the same direction down a hallway, where we had one of the students that volunteered down the hallway doing an Estes method. Lo and behold, anytime the music box went off, the Fantune would go off. Once those stopped, the box at the other side of the building would start going off. And so she's very good at being able to sense where to put the equipment. She is not familiar with the equipment. She will straight tell you her only experience with equipment is she knows how to operate a cat ball. You push the button, you set it down, it goes blinky.
That's well,
That is
she's
literally,
telling you the truth.
and you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's a decent
Right,
mix of her being able to be like, hey, I feel like if we put something here, that we're going to capture something.
right,
And I trust her instincts. I will tell you that before I met her, I did not believe in psychics. I thought they were a faux thing. They did not exist. We investigated first. The first time we ever investigated together was on the USS Salem battleship in Quincy, Mass.
mhm,
And I was doing a public event. I was co-leading an investigation on skepticism. Uh, our team was called the Skeptical Sailors. The other team that was on the ship was called the Psychic Sailors. So with her abilities, I would have assumed she would have joined the Psychic Sailor side, right?
right,
She didn't. She came to the Skeptical Sailor side and she investigated with us. And the whole time we're walking through the ship, she's giving me this information. Well, I feel this here. I feel this here. I feel this here. Does this make sense? And I waited till after the event, about 2 days, maybe 3 days later. I sent her a Google chat, and I was like, oh, not Google chat, Facebook message, sorry. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to be that creepy dude that messages people from events. I was like, but I just have to know, how much of that information did you Google before you went on the ship? Because there's no way you knew all that without researching first.
right.
And over the last year, I can promise you, she has proven me that she can sense things without Googling, and it still freaks me the hell out. I don't like it.
Yeah, it happens. It
It
happens.
does.
We tend to freak people out, right, Morgan?
Yeah, and it's so weird because you're sitting there, you're like, there's no way that they could get this information
Right.
without knowing. But
Mhm,
I know Morgan and I know her character. And so if she tells me straightforward, look, this is what I'm getting,
right.
it's and she proved me wrong. So the way that we practice is kind of unique. We don't live in the same state. So the way that we practice is I previously pick on a location. I do all the historical research on it. We schedule a day. I call her. I was like, all right, you ready to practice? She said, yes, I'm ready. I said, okay, go. And we do it over the phone. And
That's
she
cool.
will 95% accuracy.
He says I
Um,
love when I freak him out.
oh, she does. She does. But 95% accuracy, she will pinpoint the location that I'm picking up on, the spiritual energies within. I don't understand how she does it. Uh, I'm so glad I can't do it because I would just be, I would be scatterbrained. Um, but it's really interesting when you take in the dynamic of a paranormal investigator and a medium and
Right,
actually formulate a way for them to work in a cohesive manner.
right,
And that's what we do. And it works out really well. I can tell you, I've seen other teams that have tried having mediums on their teams and it just doesn't mesh.
right. For me, I love the. I'm more into the technical guru stuff, but I've had the ability since because I've lost two children from my first marriage.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And they come to me, and that's where my ability started. When my son passed away, I started seeing this 3 foot shadow, and it freaked me out because I was like, first of all, it can't be my son. My son was only 2 weeks old when he passed away. Um, so this little 3 foot shadow still comes to me before investigation, sometime in the week before we go to the location. Um, so I can't say that I'm just a me. I like to do the equipment. I like to understand not just static, barometric. I like to understand people's energy. Um, because like you said, back onto the equipment, a lot of people just buy the equipment because they think it's cool, but they really don't
Yes.
understand that that equipment does a lot more things, like the EDI Plus. People don't understand that piece of equipment, and I'm like,
I,
guys, that does more than what you think.
I've never used that piece of equipment, so I
Uh,
can't say. I can't speculate.
it's
But
hard to get
certain,
now.
cer I've heard about it, and I do want to get one. I will
Right?
eventually.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of people, they go out. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with cheap equipment if you're just starting
No,
out in the
absolutely
paranormal.
not. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel bad because if they go into an investigation, they only have like say a K2 meter, a voice recorder, and a camera. Guess what? I started off with a notebook, a pen, and a camera.
There you go.
That's what I started off with.
I started out with a little HP camera that came out in the 90s. It had a square screen that was probably a 1x1.
Yes. Yes. I actually I have not utilized it on an investigation in a while, and I feel like I need to. I think next investigation I go to, I'm gonna pull it out. I actually have a Sony Mayavakio, which takes a floppy disk for
Right.
memory.
You know what? I recommend everybody to go on an investigation this year and use some of the equipment that you started out with,
Yes.
because
Yes.
you personally have advanced, but just go back to that equipment and use it. I mean, I think I still have. I got some things here somewhere. I don't know where they are, but before it was the cell sensor, the
Oh,
little
yeah.
clear one, right? Everybody had one of those.
Yes.
And so it's
And
like, go back to that, use it, see what you get.
yeah, and I feel like almost every paranormal investigation team out there, they have a K2 meter, right?
Right, right,
You don't. I feel like people would be shocked if they knew how many paranormal investigation teams actually do not use it correctly,
right,
because a lot of people think it's a tri-axis meter similar to a tri-field. It's not. It is a singular axis meter.
right,
There's two lines on the front of the K2 in between the first and second light and the last light and the middle light next to it. The reason for that being is that is the range of detection for the K2. So that's why it works very well to sit here for a yes and no session holding it.
right,
Something's right in front of you, right? Also, a lot of people have the misconception that it can detect in the ELF zone, which is the extremely low frequency zone. It cannot. It will not detect anything under 1.5 milligauss.
right,
Whereas you have certain meters, such as the ELF zone meter, which will detect up to, I think it's like 0.10 up to 1.5 or 2.5, something like that.
right,
So if you're wanting to detect the lower frequencies, a K2 might not be for you.
right. And yeah, and that's a good point. And now people are probably like, yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought about that. Because like I say, beginning of the show, you learn something from people you've never worked with, and I'm blown away every time I do it. I'm like, wait, I've got that piece of equipment. I never thought about using it that way, because I have equipment, I want it, and I do the research, I use it a couple times, and I get burnt.
Yeah.
Because I always go
Yeah.
back to my normal stuff, which is my ability, and I want to run recorders everywhere. Now we're doing, we got cameras in our faces, so that's where we're at. But I
And
recommend, and I've been telling the team, I want to come back with some old stuff
yes.
and try it out. I still got my original Sony analog recorder.
Hang on one second.
You probably have the same one. Yes, I got mine's gold.
You know what? Here's the thing. When you're using those, they process off of magnetic tape.
Right,
And so what you're getting digitally is definitely going to pick up something different than what you would pick on a magnetic frequency as far as a tape. So
right,
my recommendation would be, if you're using something like this, have a digital recorder with it side by side
absolutely.
and start them at the same exact time. So that way
Yep,
you know that they're synced. And then when you're going through hearing your digital, if you capture something, double check it to this, and vice
absolutely.
versa. That gives you now collaboration. As okay, we really heard what we heard, or it makes you think. Does this device pick up something differently because of how the frequencies work as compared to this device?
Right.
So there's multiple different facets as to how that can go.
Now, wouldn't
And
that be amazing if you picked it up on both? Wow.
and then you know for a fact you caught something.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I'm kind of an old school tech guy myself.
Yeah,
Um, so I prefer doing this stuff that way. But definitely, people need to understand their equipment before they start utilizing it, because just because it's going off does not necessarily mean it's the spirit. And people, I think, they misinterpret the readings that they get because they just are not fully aware of what the device actually does.
exactly. Exactly. Because some of those pieces of equipment hold a lot of energy, anyways. And, if there's other people around, and I tell people all the time when we're doing public concepts walking with us, Make sure your phone's on airplane mode. I know that you got to have your phone on because if you have kids at home while you're with us, but also you know we're going to pick up semis going down the road, police officers patrolling the town. You're going to pick up something that's going to chirp that piece of equipment.
Yep.
So I'm like, we got to take in everything around us. That's why
Yeah.
when I first start, and you probably do it, a lot of people do. When we do lights out, when you're doing an investigation, I just want to become the building. Give me 10 minutes. I want to become the building where I'm in.
Acclimation.
Right.
An acclimation period. Get to know the building. Some people, especially if it's a public event, they get freaked out by being in the dark.
Right.
But it is an essential process
Right.
because during that, say, 10-15 minute acclimation period, not only are you acclimating yourself to the building as far as how it feels, you can listen
Right.
and you can hear the noises of the building. So
Yep.
now, if you hear a noise, you could be like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure there was something falling from the ceiling, as compared to saying, did you hear that it was footsteps?
Right. Just like you said, paint chips coming off the wall. Yep, I heard that earlier. It's the same sound.
Yep.
Oh, there's a piece of plastic over that window. There's a crack in it. I saw it because I heard it earlier. Right.
Exactly. And I agree with that, Patty, 100%. I am a firm skeptic, but I have experienced enough to know that there's something out there that I cannot explain.
Yes.
Agreed.
We all agree on that. 100%. There is more to this life than us.
Yes, there is.
You got to believe that.
And I think what turns a lot of people off is when they go into these supposedly famously haunted locations and they don't experience anything, right? Because they buy what they see on TV. You're watching a 1 hour television show, not realizing that these people are in there for 10 to 12 hours. They're cutting everything down and they're editing it for television. So, no, you're not going to go into a place and it's going to be boom, 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 constant activity.
No.
Like, one of the quietest nights that I ever had was at one of the most famously haunted houses in the United States, the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah, great place.
I tried everything possible to draw the spirits out. I recreated the murder of Mr. Borden on the couch. I slept in the spot where they found Mrs. Borden's body upstairs on the floor. I experienced nothing the whole night. Not a creak, not a sound, not a voice, nothing. But is that because I didn't try hard enough? Or is that because when you think about it from a different standpoint, that the circumstances were just not correct for the activity to actually occur?
Right. That's a good point.
Paranormal activity, it happens when the circumstances are correct. It doesn't happen when you want it to happen. And I think a lot of people do that. They go into these places that are supposedly famously haunted, right? And when they don't experience anything, they downgrade the location. They say, oh, that place isn't haunted. I went there all night and I didn't experience anything. Just because you didn't experience something doesn't mean the place wasn't haunted. It just means the circumstances were not correct for you to actually have an experience.
I agree with you. That's 100%. Because it happens all the time. Oh, I don't want to go back there. There was nothing that happened. Well, I mean, I know you bought the $600 Ovilus and all that, and it didn't work that night. But like you said, everything wasn't lined up for you to get paranormal activity that night.
Exactly.
So yeah, I know we went over time, but I want to plug in. Where can everybody find you? And
That's a loaded question.
That's a loaded question.
The better question is, where can people not find me? But no, like, if you want to go and watch some of my paranormal app tests, which this is my book, Downloading for the Dead, Investigating Paranormal Applications. This book was not writ all willy-nilly, by the way, on my own experiences with the applications. Do I give my experiences with the applications in here? Yes, I do. But I also talk to the app developers. They all gave me permission to put their apps in this book, and they gave me a breakdown of how their applications work, so I had a better understanding when writing the book. This will tell you whether or not an application is good as a paranormal investigative side tool, not a main tool, you can kind of utilize for data collection.
Right.
To my knowledge, there is not another book like it. I don't think there's been any other book on paranormal applications other than mine. So,
where can we get that book?
You can get that on Amazon, or you can order it through me if you want a signed copy.
You heard it, guys. And Patty's
So
putting that in.
you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Paranormal Nate. You can find me on YouTube at static_voices. You can find me on TikTok at static voices. You can find me on Instagram at Nathaniel Elwell. You can find me on Facebook at Nathaniel Elwell. I'm kind of all over the place. I don't think, other than Reddit.
I'll definitely find you on TikTok and on YouTube.
Yes, as soon as you do, just let me know. I'll go back. I'll give you a follow. I'll subscribe to you. I think you'll enjoy my TikTok content. So my TikTok content, basically, people send me videos or I find videos, and I painstakingly go through and still frame every single frame. I'm looking for, say, editing mistakes as far as like
Right.
pixelization and editing. I'm looking for a string reflection. I'm looking for film cuts. I'm looking for time jumps if it has a timestamp. And I'm
Right.
trying to give you a logical explanation as to what's going on in the video before you would just assume that it's paranormal. Because 80% of the videos you see on there are not paranormal. You just have to look at it from a different aspect.
Yep, that's right. Thanks, Morgan. I called her Megan. Morgan. Great show and conversation tonight.
That's
Thank
all
you.
right. Someone this weekend at the event called her Molly's, I think so.
Patty said, thanks, Morgan. Feel free to put up more of his info that I missed. Yeah, so we'll definitely do that. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I want to have you come back on, and the next time I want you and Morgan to come on, talk.
Yeah, we can work that out.
Yeah, because you guys have a lot to share that I would love to hear. So
yeah, we can definitely work that out, brother. Just
yeah,
shoot me some dates. I'll let you know if it works out for Myth, and we'll get it scheduled up.
That sounds wonderful. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming on, Nathan. And I will go look for you once I'm closing everything down, wrapping it up. I will find you on YouTube and TikTok.
Sounds good.
Guys, go check him out. Great. I love his energy, full of energy. Just like, wow, you got it. You got a spark energy there. I like it. Morgan says, you got most of it, Patty.
Good, thank you.
Static Voices is his TikTok. And I'd love, absolutely, thanks. We would love, yes, we'll definitely get with you. I'll shoot you guys a message, have you guys come on, and yeah, we'll talk more. But again, man,
great.
thanks for coming on. Appreciate you, buddy.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Absolutely.
Look, I love doing podcasts, so I appreciate you guys for having me on, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. And guys, his podcast is on Wednesday nights, and where can you get that?
So that you can find that on the All Access Network on Facebook, or you can go over to my page. Typically, it's shared there. We do a live. My podcast is called The Paranormal Unveiled, where we bring on unique guests and we tackle seemingly controversial topics within the paranormal. I got a few guests coming on here in the future, and I'm hoping to be labeled eventually as the Howard Stern of the paranormal. That guy that just don't give a damn. I'm going to call you out.
That's Patty. She loves Howard Stern.
Yeah, so but it's live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Tomorrow I have Bobby Resnick Calkins coming on. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to talk about Native American heritage and how it relates to the paranormal.
Nice.
It's going to be an awesome show.
Yeah, I'll have to chime in. I'll definitely chime in.
Please do.
Absolutely, man. So it's great to meet you, and yeah, definitely have to get together sometime too in the future and do some investigating.
I would love to.
Yeah, same here, buddy. Well, thanks again for coming on, guys.
Yes, and thank you very much for having me. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Thanks. What a show.
Yeah, I'm over here searching up the book. Right?
Okay,
So,
Patty's already getting the book, Nathan. So
I'll probably reach out to him.
yeah, I definitely want to have him come back on with Morgan because he's got a lot to share, and I definitely want to. She just put it out there, Paranormal Unveiled, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, so thanks again, everybody joining us. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate your support. Go find them on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. I'm going to go do it on the YouTube here. We appreciate all your support. And next week we have the 918, right?
The 918 files.
The 918 files. I just wanted to make sure I had 918 right. So the 918 files next Tuesday. Join us. It's going to be another great show. Guys, if you're interested in becoming part of the show, you want to share your stories, definitely reach out to Patty or I. We would love to have you as a guest. We are booking. I would like to book through the summer. So, guys, always keep looking into the unknown. Let's have a great night. Hi, Taylor. We'll see you this Saturday, girl.
So I was waving at.
Take care, guys.